Hello everyone, welcome to VMS class. In this lesson, we are going to learn the brief idea about type conversion. Sometimes it is also called as type casting, type conversion or type casting. So in the previous lesson, we learned how to accept input from the user using the input statement. If we take a simple example, name equal to input of enter your name, then I am going to display print welcome comma name. Save this program, and if you execute this, it will ask enter your name. I am giving the name as Dhoni. It is going to display welcome Dhoni. This program works perfectly because the entered value is simply displayed. Whatever I am taking, that is going to display here. But what happens when we want to perform some calculations? If I take another example here, I want to perform the addition of two numbers. Num1 equal to input of enter first number. Enter first number. Num2 equal to input of enter second number. Now I want to print the num1 plus num2. Now in this case, when you execute this program, I am passing the first number as 10, second number as 20. You can notice that the sum is not 30, instead it is printing 1020. So what is the reason for this? The reason is the input function is going to take the text, and the type of that text is nothing but string. Okay, so it means that for example, I have the text 10 plus 20. Now the first number which is enclosed in the double quotation can be considered as a string, and the second number is also considered as a string. The string plus string can act as a concatenation. So that is the reason it is going to produce 1020. Here the program is not wrong. The only thing is we are going to take the input in the form of a string. So what we have to do, so here the num1 can be converted as int of num1. So whatever we are taking the string, can you convert to the integer? So here I am taking a function, int function. So which is going to convert this string to the integer. So this is called type conversion. So again for the second number also, num2 equal to int of num2. Now again take the string here, and that string is now converted to integer. So typecasting. Now both numbers are in the form of integers, so you can perform the addition. When you execute this, the first number is 10, the second number is 20. Now in this case, we are getting the correct results. Okay. So if we want to perform the addition instead of concatenation, we must first convert this text or string to a number. So who is going to convert that? The int function is used for type conversion. Okay, the first function here, int, Okay. What is the int here? It is doing, it is going to do the type conversion. Int function converts a value into an integer. Okay. So it is commonly used when working with like age, marks, quantity, salary, number of employees. All these cases, we can use this typecasting function. Otherwise, the input function will be considered as a string. So the string plus string can be considered as a concatenation. Okay. Now here, instead of writing this in two lines, okay, here itself, you can take the input, okay, then convert that to the integer. So instead of that, we can write int of input of enter the first number. So you no need to write the second line now. I am merging these two lines into a single statement. And similarly, int of input of enter the second number. So it is going to take the string and typecasting using the int function. Now, when you execute this, we will get the similar output. Enter the first number 10, enter the second number 20, the output is 30. Okay, so like that, you can use this int typecasting function. Let us take another example when you are going to pay some bill when you visit any shop. Okay, so the thing is, you are going to add the GST to the price. Okay, for this, you can take price equal to int of input of enter the product price. Then GST equal to int of input of enter the GST amount. Enter the GST amount. Now the total amount equal to the price plus GST. Print the total bill here, comma, total underscore amount. So let us save this and execute this. It is going to ask the enter the product price. For example, product price is 1000 and the GST, for example, 180. Now the total bill is 1180. Here also, if you don't provide this int typecasting function, it is going to print different number in the form of a string. Okay. Now let us consider another example. I want to print the total marks of a student in three different subjects. How can you write the logic for that? I am going to consider the English marks. English equal to int of input of enter the marks in English. Then you can take the marks of mathematics. Int of input of enter the marks in maths. Then you can take the marks of science. Int of input of enter the marks in science subject. Now I want to perform the sum of all these subjects. The total underscore marks equal to English marks plus maths marks plus science marks. Print the total marks equal to comma total underscore marks I am displaying. Save this program and execute this result. Enter the marks in English, for example 80, maths 90, science 95. Now the total marks in three different subjects are added, that is 265. But here every time I am using the int function, int typecasting function. So there are multiple typecasting functions are there. So I will explain little more details after discussion of the data types concept. But for now, let me give you another example. Many real world values contain the decimal points. For example, if you take the petrol quantity, the product price, the weight of a person, the temperature. So all these are having decimal points. Let me consider one simple program for this. Calculation of a petrol bill. Now the petrol bill can be the number of liters multiplied by the price per the liter. Okay. Now let me take liters equal to, here I am going to take the float, the typecasting function, float of input of enter petrol in liters. Okay. Enter petrol in liters. Now take the price. Price also the floating point number. Float of input of enter the price per liter. Enter the price per liter. Now the total bill equal to number of liters multiplied by the price. This is for sure it is a floating point number which is having a decimal point. Print of the total bill equal to I am printing the bill here. Okay. So save this program and execute this by clicking on the run module. Enter the petrol in liters, for example 2.5, and the petrol price per liter, for example 110.50 I am giving. The total price is 276.25. So in this case, I am going to take the float function. Okay, here float function converts a value into a float number. It is nothing but which is having a decimal point. Okay, so like that you can use float function also. Okay, float function converts a value into a floating point number here. It is commonly used for price, height, weight, etc. Okay, so this is a very important thing. But remember, when you are using this typecasting functions, we are going to do a small mistake here. In this case, let us take a number num1 equal to int of input of enter a number. Okay, I am going to perform the square of this number. Square equal to num1 multiplied by num1. Print the square of a number equal to comma square. Let us save this program and execute this. Now here enter a number 4. The square of a number is 16. It is perfectly working. But when you execute one more time, I am trying to give a character alphabet A. At that time, you will get error, value error. When you are using this int function, compulsory whatever you are entering the string that must contain a number only. Otherwise, it is going to raise the error. Okay, that is value error. Invalid literal for int with base 10a. The reason is int of a, it is going to produce error. Okay, even you can take float of a, it is also going to produce error. Okay, I will explain all these typecasting functions like int, float, complex, str. Multiple typecasting functions are there. So we'll see all these typecasting functions in the upcoming lessons. But try to understand. So these are the two commonly used typecasting functions. One is int, another one is float. To take the int value and to take the float value, we are going to use this int and float functions. Okay. Thank you. I will see you in the next lesson.